Hey guys, so if you know your fear of putting yourself out there is preventing you from being where you want to be with your new business, then listen up. This is for you. I want to help you get your business out there, even if the thought of doing so absolutely terrifies you. My name is Corey Logaitis. I'm a business strategist, coach, and TEDx speaker, and I help people become entrepreneurs. And today I'm going to be sharing the top 3 roadblocks that could be preventing you from putting yourself out there, as well as exactly what to do to overcome them. Now, before we dive in, if your fear stems from not knowing how to talk about your business and do so in a way that isn't going to make people zone out or not want to pay attention to you, I've got a free resource for you. So go ahead, drop me a message below or check out the full post and download a copy of my free business positioning template and learn how to become more confident starting today with how you talk about your business. So let's go ahead and dive in. This is part 2 of a 3-part post series that I'm doing talking about being able to put your new business out there and to land your first client fast. So in the very first post that I shared, I talked a little bit about my own experience in starting up my new business and how I was able to successfully land clients within a month or so of launching. And the way I landed those clients wasn't the way I thought it was going to be. Like majority of folks out there, maybe even yourself included, I was spending a lot of time on building assets, like building my website, working on my logo, creating social media content, maybe even experimenting with some paid Facebook ads. And surprisingly enough, when I launched my first offer, the very first clients that I got didn't come as a result of any of those strategies at all. They actually came as a result of people that I had met face to face out and networking my business. So this was a huge realization for me and something that I teach people day in and day out right now. And that's to shift your mindset when you're just starting out in your new business from building assets like websites, content, and paid ads, and instead shifting your focus to building relationships. Right? So that's where the last post left off. But herein lies a challenge, right? So for a lot of folks, yeah, building relationships sounds easy enough, but in order to be able to build relationships, that requires you having to put yourself out there. And for a lot of folks, putting yourself out there is pretty darn scary. So let's go ahead and talk about the 3 specific things that might be blocking your own progress in putting yourself out there, as well as how to handle each and every one of them. So first one is not knowing what to say, right? So many folks, when they're just starting out with their business and they're so new, they don't really have a very clear way to define and describe exactly not only what their business does, but what they personally do, how they deliver what it is that their business does, and who they serve, right? So one of the ways that you can kind of overcome this challenge is by having kind of like a script, right? A script that when you know you're going out and you're meeting somebody, whether it be online at a coffee shop or if you're attending a business networking event, that you could say the same thing over and over again to help describe what your business does. But again, don't be tripped up by the word script, right? I'm talking about literally a 2 to 3 sentence predetermined statement. I call it a positioning statement that helps you very clearly describe what it is that your new business does, and do so in a way, because it's only a couple of sentences, that the person that you're talking to doesn't zone out or lose interest, right? So if this sounds like you, I've got a free resource included with this post today. It's called my business positioning template. Go ahead, either send me a message or check out the full post and download your copy and start it today. Like I said, it's super simple. It's a template. You fill out the information about your business and who you help, and it kind of does the rest of the work for you. So that's number 1, which is not knowing how to talk about your business. Number 2 is not knowing where to start, right? So the biggest part about putting yourself out there is literally putting yourself out there and starting to meet people. And a lot of folks get tripped up on, well, where do I meet folks? So if you go back and listen to or read the very first post in this series, I provided a cheat sheet there, which gave you a variety of different places that you could find your clients offline and not online. So to make things super simple, if this is something that's tripping you up, go download that cheat sheet, And then it's really as simple as just starting to hang out in those places offline where your potential clients are likely to hang out. Because again, it's just about building relationships and it's about meeting people. And in order to know where to meet the people that you really want to be put in touch with, that requires you doing some research and figuring out what opportunities are out there for you to participate in to actually meet those people, right? So this sounds like you, go ahead, grab that cheat sheet in the last post. I'll also make sure that I link to it here and start hanging out in the places where your potential clients are hanging out, not necessarily online, that are offline. Number 3 is fear of rejection, right? So it's one thing to go out there and you know how to talk about your business and you know where to find people, you know who you could talk to about your business. But then another challenge arises when you're afraid of putting yourself out there and inviting somebody to a conversation and having them say no, right? Either having them say no, that they're not interested in what your business has to do, or say no and that they don't even want to meet with you to begin with. It's kind of, shattering, right? So one of the ways that you could get around this, and it's really kind of a simple mindset shift, is when you invite somebody to a meeting to instead take the focus off of yourself, right? So when you're out there and you're meeting somebody to network with, it's very important that you do so with the intention of wanting to help that person with whatever it is that they are looking to accomplish. So again, it's not about you, it's about them, right? So a lot of times for myself, when I meet somebody, I'll just recommend that we meet up for a very quick 30-minute Zoom coffee, or you could meet for coffee in person, depending on the situation in your local area and what's allowed at that moment, because right now we are going through the pandemic. But invite them to a very simple, casual Zoom coffee, and just with the expectation saying, I want to hear more about you and what you do and who you're looking to connect with. Because if I could help support you, I would love to figure out a way to help support you. 9 times out of 10, majority of people do not say no to those types of invitations because they know agreeing to that type of a meeting that it's not necessarily going to be a sales pitch. Granted, it's then on you to make sure that you don't turn it into a sales pitch and instead you really use it as an opportunity to get to know that person better. Because you never know, that person, even if they're not your ideal client, they might know somebody who is. And just being able to have that conversation and then use your positioning statement to be able to explain to them what you do and who you're looking for introductions to, it's going to help you expand your network as well as those relationships with people who could potentially end up buying from you. And this will end up working much, much faster than you focusing all your time, money, and attention on building assets like websites or content or paid ads, right? So to recap everything I just shared with you today, there are 3 different roadblocks that could be preventing you from putting yourself out there. The very, very first one was not knowing how to talk about your business, which again, very, very simple. Download the template included with this post and learn exactly how to be able to explain who it is and who you serve in a very simple 3-sentence paragraph. Number 2 was not knowing where to start. And when you don't know where to start, it's really as simple as starting to hang out where your potential clients are hanging out, not necessarily online, but offline. You have to put yourself in the direct line of action to have opportunities to get to speak with them one-on-one. So if you're kind of stumped on where to start with this, check out the post before this, and I will also link to it again below this video to download the free cheat sheet on different places that you can look to find your ideal client offline. And last but not least, fear of rejection stops a lot of folks in their tracks. And if you want to overcome this, simple mindset shifts, like I said, shift the focus off of you and your business to instead onto the person, asking how you can help support them and wanting to set up a meeting to discuss exactly how to do that. What is it that they're doing in their business or in their networking? Who is it that they want to meet and how you can help serve them? And more times than not, you're going to have way more people say yes to meeting with you than no. And the more that happens, the more your confidence is going to build up and the less scary it's going to be to put yourself out there. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. Again, I do have that free template for you guys included below. Message me if you'd like to get a copy of it and start building confidence on how to talk about your business and put yourself out there starting today. Have a great one, guys, and I will check in with you again soon.